What's going on, guys? Troll Pal CHH here. The Chucky reviews are starting, and here is our first one. Bride of Chucky. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's the special artwork. I broke down. I'll be honest with you. I couldn't help myself. The Devin Whitehead stuff looks incredible, and I was like, you know what? To get those posters and everything, even though I'm getting double slips, which is silly, the gap in price really wasn't much to sway me to not want to do it. So I did break down and get these with the new artwork, and I'm gotta be honest, like, they're incredible. This is what I'm talking about. This is incredible. Imagine if that was a steel book. That's neither here or there, though, guys. We are here to talk about these. Now, the reason I'm going to review these individually, because even though you could buy these as a set, you could also buy them separately, especially on Amazon. You can get Bride by itself. You can get, Seed, Cult, Curse by themselves. So, I will be reviewing these separately, as opposed to maybe like when I get the Psycho box set from Arrow, that you buy as a package. So something like that I'll review as one. Or the Hellraiser set from Arrow, I will review that as one. Bride of Chucky came out in the late 1990s, and I vividly remember the teaser for this. I remember being terrified, because as a kid, this was still scary. I had seen the Child's Play movies by that point, not in the early 90s, but in the later 90s when I was cognizant enough to be able to watch those. And even though this would come out to be like, somewhat of a horror comedy, if you will, at the time, it was terrifying. And to talk about a movie that's kind of done a Uno reverse on me, here's the thing. I think this is what it was. When you grow up with the original Chucky and you saw all those movies as a kid, and it was the doll before it got all the scarred stuff. When this came out, that replaced that look of Chucky, and then the scarred look of Chucky became it. Now, at the time, especially as a kid, I was very resistant, and I did not like that Chucky. My Chucky was the doll with the creepy-looking face without all the scars and stuff. But as time has gone on, and now we've gotten ourselves back to the regular-looking Chucky, Scarred Chucky is cool. Scarred Chucky is cool to me, and I actually look back on this with like a little bit more fond memories, wishing I would have appreciated that time more, because this is heavy metal and rock and roll and fun, and I like that look of Chucky now, to be honest with you. As a matter of fact, if I ever get another Chucky doll, because I have a custom one, if I ever get another one, it would be a Scarred Chucky for sure. That's neither here or there, though, guys. Just a few words about Bride of Chucky. I did not like this movie back in the day for one reason or another, but I gotta be honest, revisiting it now, the couple times I watched it, I was like, I'm so wrong about this movie. Like, my resistance to the look of Chucky, which was silly, was keeping me from watching the movie with my eyes, really, so to speak, and hearing the film. I, quite frankly, love this movie. I think this is better than Child's Play 3. I think this is easily one of the best Child's Play movies. Coming out in the late 90s with Ronnie Yu directing, I've really grown to love that aesthetic that Ronnie goes for. His movies are really energetic and fun, and the setups and everything with this movie are hysterical. And my, oh my, Jennifer Tilly. We've got to talk about Jennifer Tilly for just a second. The older I get, 40 doesn't sound so old anymore. But the fact that this woman right here was like 40 years old, and she is literally carved from stone. She is, I'll just say it, she is sexy in this movie. She is a perfect 10. I love Jennifer in this movie, and she just kills it. This is her movie, really. And, she really shines. And she is that new life, looking back as you go through the movies, that really, gave this franchise like a new plateau. And she's perfect. You really can't think of Child's Play anymore without thinking of Jennifer Tilly, and rightfully so. She was born to be part of this franchise. Okay, the soundtrack for Bride of Chucky, fantastic. That montage in the beginning of hearing Living Dead Girl and seeing that silhouette of that beautiful woman walking out of this, dark corridor or whatever is so late 90s, so awesome, and brings me right back to being a kid. And hearing Hellbilly Deluxe, one of the greatest, new metal rock albums of the late 90s, it's just magic. And then you get Call Me when she turns into the doll. It's great. I love the trailer that she lives in, that Airstream. It's very cool looking in there, and I love the aesthetic of all that. So, Bride of Chucky, revisiting this, guys, is great. And seeing the cast, you've got John Ritter in here. Rest in peace to that legend. He's funny in this movie. Everybody understands the scope of what they're doing in this film. It's really a great movie that I think over time has pulled an Uno reverse card for a lot of people like me that may have looked at the Scarred Chucky era with a lot of resistance, but going back now, it's just like, oh my God, I know, I just wish I would have appreciated it more at the time. But now I look back on these movies, especially like Bride, and I'm like, this movie is freaking awesome. And in terms of the late 90s, this is, if I ever did a video of like late 90s horror, this would be probably in my top 10 easily. So yeah, guys, Bride of Chucky, I mean, so fun. I think it is one of the best Child's Play movies. It's got such a great sensibility, and you really can tell, like, Ronnie Yu, what he likes about cinema. And I'm right there with him. I really am. All right, guys, so let's talk about the 4K for this. So this is what worried me, because I looked on the slipcover for the other release, or actually, I could pull this out and look. It says, new 2023 4K master. That really, I'll be honest with you, that actually had me worried pretty much, because usually they'll say new master from the original camera, negative, but they didn't say that on the back of here. Does that mean that they used it or didn't use it? I'm not sure. I could have done a little research maybe on the website to see, but I was thinking maybe they used the inner positive or something. There's a chance. Maybe they couldn't get the negative for one reason or other. Regardless, I will say the picture quality on this was pretty damn flawless. And what was interesting, I know this is kind of like a thing some people are into and some people are not. I didn't notice much grain at all in this, so if you're not into that, you'll be happy about this. But gorgeous. I mean, everything was pristine, clean, and again, you almost get that nice, almost 3D effect from how good the 4K image is. And you know, the shot where you see Chucky on the pentagram and the camera backs out was just, I was like, wow. I mean, it looks like it was shot, my way of saying it, not yesterday, but this morning. That's how good it looked. So the picture quality, I'd give that a solid 9 out of 10. I did go and swap myself to the 2.0 audio as opposed to what it was. Maybe it was the 5.1 or whatever. I just found that like the audio, the voices to music ratio was a lot better on the 2.0 as opposed to the other one. Like Living Dead Girl, I started out on the 5.1 stereo. I think that's what it was. But yeah, the 5.1. The 5.1 was just like, there was a fluctuation from music to voices too much for my liking to where I was adjusting the volume. But going to the 2.0, I found actually worked a hell of a lot better. This is not the first time I've had this sort of instance. As a matter of fact, one of the most ridiculous ones is Two Evil Eyes. You have to swap to the 2.0 audio because if not, the voices are embarrassingly much lower than the music, and it's criminal. This isn't embarrassingly different, but, you know, I just recommend go to the 2.0 because the difference in voice to music is pretty much non-existent, and it's a very comfortable listen as opposed to the other one where you might find yourself adjusting your volume a little bit. Now, the negative for this is special feature-wise, they ported over all the old stuff, but I didn't notice anything new on this. And of course, all the special features can be on the Blu-ray disc, is what you see behind me. So they have the vintage featurettes and stuff, and I wasn't too familiar with those, so it was nice to go back and look at those, but there's nothing new, per se. Kind of a bummer, but that's kind of to be expected, especially when they do a bundle where they're putting all these movies out at the same time. I think there may be some new stuff for the rest of them, but today we're talking about Bride. But guys, I will say, for a 4K, this looks really good. I was really happy with it. For me to give that perfect 10 out of 10, it's really got to be that, like, jaw-dropping quality. Now, this is close to it. It's extremely solid. I think everybody will be really happy with the 4K of this. But yeah, just, you know, see what you want to do with this, because if special features is a big thing for you, you know, you might want to consider that. But if you really just want to get Bride of Chucky, you know every damn thing you could know about the film, and you want it to be in a really great picture quality, then this release is going to be for you. Of course, you can get this on Amazon with the original poster artwork for the slipcover, but if you want to get these cool slips, you got to get the bundle from Scream Factory. I will give the Bride of Chucky 4K, guys, 1 thumb up. Solid. Could have used some new features. Would have been nice, but it just didn't happen. But it looked gorgeous, and the 2.0 audio for me was just perfect. I love that. So, really fun movie. I think it's one of the best Child Play films. What can I say? I never would have said that years ago, 10, 12 years ago. Now I say it, and I mean it. I love this film. Let me know what you guys think about Bride of Chucky. Let me know if you plan on getting this 4K release, or if you're going to get the special slips for these for the bundle. I broke down. What can I say, guys? Anyway, old CHH saying Bride of Chucky, grab it. Huge giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind the scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.